Joining us right now is the Democratic Congressman Adam Smith from Washington State. Of course, he's the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. It's good to see you, Congressman. Thank you for coming in. What is your reaction to this unilateral ceasefire as we're now learning about it?
At this point, there's no reason to believe it. As your reporter just pointed out, the same thing was said over the Easter period, and there was no effort whatsoever by Russia to adhere to it. So it's likely just a PR campaign, but we'll see. We'll see whether or not he holds to that. But the real big message here is it seems like President Trump is finally realizing what everybody else in the world knew for years, and that is that Putin is going to push this war as hard as he can unless you stop him. And it has really hurt the process to get to peace that President Trump has put all the pressure on Zelensky. He sent a very clear message to President Putin from the start of Trump's administration that if Putin just holds out, eventually President Trump will abandon Ukraine. And that incentivized Putin to keep going forward instead of putting the pressure on Putin to force him to the peace table. Now, maybe, belatedly, President Trump has figured this out, but it's just a shocking amount of ignorance from this administration that has extended the war and placed Ukraine in greater jeopardy.
I was going to ask you what you're hearing from your sources and contacts with European allies, with that image of the president's knee-to-knee in St. Peter's Basilica for the Pope's funeral, the way Trump is now talking about it, coming out of it, and when he landed back in the States on Sunday. Do you truly think there is a shift now from the president in his perspective in terms of a better chance that this ends well for Ukraine?
I doubt it, but I think the way I would characterize the way Europeans and others who strongly support Ukraine have reacted to this, it's a tiny sliver of hope in what has been a dark few months from this administration. And actually, Vice President Vance has been the worst on this. He has sent the signal over and over again that we're not going to continue to support Ukraine. So I think what you saw and what you've probably heard now from Europeans and others who support Ukraine is just that tiny sliver of hope that maybe at some point President Trump is finally going to get what's going on and react accordingly. But it's early, and we'll see. We'll see if the ceasefire holds. We'll see if President Trump's administration actually is willing to put pressure on Putin to force him to the peace table. It's a sliver of hope, but there's still a lot that we have to learn about where it goes from here.